Hi, welcome to lesson 5.3, naming monatomic ionic molecules. So just as before, make sure you title your lesson this, and then these are the two things you should be able to know by the end of the video. Please make sure to write it down as part of your notes. All right, so let's first talk about what a monatomic ionic molecule is. It's a very long name for something pretty simple and straightforward. Basically, the fact that what this means is I have two atoms or two different types of elements that combine, and only two, right? So here, if you notice that every capital letter is the start of an element, so Ca, Na, Mg, and K are all elements, right? Then next to that, A is lowercase, but then it's capital C. So this is the start of another element. So every time I see a capital letter, that is a signal to me that that counts as one element. That's why the second letter is always lowercase. Okay. And if it's only made up of two elements, that is a monatomic ionic molecule. See, super long name for something pretty straightforward. Okay, so something I want you to notice is that in the last video, we talked about how we created this formula, but oftentimes when you look at food labels and your shampoo bottles and your ingredients and stuff, you'll see things like calcium chloride, sodium fluoride, magnesium sulfide, potassium bromide. I want to see if you can notice, how do we name all of these molecules? Can you figure it out? Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can figure out by looking at the patterns, going across. Do you notice how these things are named? Okay, did you notice it? So I've kind of color coded this for you. Maybe this will help. So you might notice that if I'm given CaCl2, these elements are calcium and chlorine. So the first part of the name, it's exactly what it looks like on the periodic table. It's just the name, calcium. The second one, instead of chlorine, it's just chloride. So the name "ide" at the ending shows you that these two things, calcium and chlorine, are stuck together, right? It's kind of like when you come up with like couples names for celebrities. I don't know of any new celebrities, but like Kim Ye, or I don't know, what are celebrities names now? Please let me know so I can film a better version of this video. And if you notice that NaF, sodium fluoride, right? Sodium is the first name, that's Na. Instead of fluorine, it's fluoride, right? So sodium fluoride. Magnesium, not magnesium sulfur, but always ending in "ide." And the "ide" just lets you know that, hey, this is a couple. They're together and they're combined together, right? So in general, the steps to name a monatomic ionic molecule based off of the formula, right? Step number one is just to find the names of what Ca and Cl are on the periodic table, right? And then the tip for the "ide" part is to drop the last syllable and then add "ide" to it, right? So let me show you how that works. So if I sounded this out, it's chlorine. I get rid of the "ine" parts and then I change it to "ide." Right? Sodium fluorine becomes sodium fluorine, get rid of the "ine", change it to "ide." And that's how I end up with the actual name, sodium fluoride, right? So again, calcium is the first name, calcium stays the same. Chlorine is the second element, so chlorine, drop the last syllable, chloride. And the reason why we add "ide" at the end is because calcium and chlorine, these two elements are stuck together, right? So if I like draw out a simple version of this, right? If they're all stuck together like this, we got to find a couple's name for them. So that's why they all end in "ide," just to show that they go together. Right? So one more time, MgS. If I look up the name of Mg, it's magnesium. S is sulfur, right? So sound it out, sulf. Drop the that's your last syllable, change it to "ide." And then that's how you get magnesium sulfide. So in your notes, I would definitely have these two steps and recognize that there are some exceptions to the rule of dropping the last syllable of the name of the second elements, right? So oftentimes these ones, if we drop the last syllable, like oxygen, dropping gen, this is a vowel. So we kind of just change it to a little bit shorter. So it's oxide. Nitrogen instead of nitroide is nitride. Hydrogen is hydride. Phosphorus is phosphide. So these are some common exceptions. I would definitely note this down in your notebook as well so you don't forget this. Okay, so let's do an example problem together. I have my example problem in black and the steps in red. Feel free to do this on your own to see if you get the correct answer at the end. So the question is, what are the names for the molecules below given their formula? So just like before, Na, right? So N is capital, A is lowercase. I'm going to pay attention to the fact that this is one element because it's capital, lowercase, and then another capital letter. So if I see another capital letter, this is a different element. So on my periodic table, I'm going to look for the name of Na and the name of O. So Na is called sodium. And O, if you didn't know, is over here. It is called oxygen. Sodium, oxygen. So know that this is totally wrong right now. I gotta fix the ending of this. Oxygen is one of my exceptions, so I'm gonna change it to oxide. So my full name, my correct name, is going to be sodium oxide for Na2O. Right? What about this next one? So here I have LIBR. L is capitalized, I is lowercase. So these two go together. This element over here, B is capitalized, R is lowercase. So BR is one element together. If I look up Li, Li is over here. It is called lithium, like the batteries. Lithium ion batteries. It's made from that element actually. Lithium. And then Br, if I look Br is over here, bromine. So I'm going to add that bromine. So again, this ending I need to fix. I'm going to drop the last syllable of the name of the second element and then also add ide, right? So bromine becomes bromide. So my full name is going to be lithium bromide. Bloop. Right. So at this point, you should be able to do the next couple of practice problems on your own. Give it a try.